Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ginger Allen, and I am so honored to be the MC of the 7th Annual Awards Breakfast benefiting the life-saving work of DKMS. While we cannot all be together in person this year, which is disappointing to all of us, I'm still so glad you can join us here from the comfort of your homes to support this amazing cause. Many of you know me as the senior investigative reporter for the CBS 11 I-Team, but I so proudly say I think so many more of you know me because we're neighbors and very dear friends. Today, we all stand together as proud DKMS advocates. This morning, we are celebrating the life and the people of the Dallas-Fort Worth community, and I am so grateful to be here with you virtually. I want to give a special thanks to our gold sponsor, Panera Bread, and our silver sponsors, Keurig Dr. Pepper, Krispy Kreme, and Sally and Cabin Groves for their continued support, along with all of the other generous sponsors that you now see on your screen. Many things in all of our lives have changed, but blood cancer has not stopped because of COVID-19. So our fight cannot stop either. DKMS reached the incredible milestone of registering, listen to this, 10 million potential donors globally this year. 10 million. Here's a look at how far we've come and how far we still need to go.
DKMS started in 1991. My mom was sick with leukemia and needed a bone marrow transplant. And there were only 3,000 donors in Germany at the time. My dad basically moved mountains to try to find a donor for her. And now we're here 29 years later, and we have celebrating this spring our 10 millionth donor.
I'm part of Team 10 Million because we save lives.
Jestem częścią drużyny.
And being 1 in 10 million just demonstrates what strength and compassion we can all be together.
Estoy orgulloso de ser parte de este equipo.
I'm really happy and I'm really blessed that I'm part of the 10 million people.
Ich bin stolz und glücklich, dass ich zum Team 10 Millionen gehören darf.
The lives we save is absolutely incredible. I'm so happy to be part of it. I'm grateful to be part of it, but it's all of you. You make the DKMS mission your mission, and that I'm eternally grateful for.
There are hundreds of thousands of us out there fighting blood cancer.
Der Moment, wenn man erfährt, dass man einen potenziellen Stammzellspender hat, ist unglaublich.
I never knew someone completely unknown somewhere in this world is waiting to give me a second chance in my life.
Bardzo wam dziękuję. Wasze poświęcenie może uratować komuś życie.
I thank you. You have given me and all patients in my position hope and belief that we can look beyond the prognosis that we're actually given.
Son unos valientes superhéroes.
We're also not going to stop here, because there's still thousands and thousands of patients all over the world who can't find a matching donor.
Denn nur wenn die Datenbank ebenso vielfältig wird wie unsere wunderbare, bunte Welt, kann für jeden Patient ein Lebensretter gefunden werden.
Es genial que DKMS tenga 10 millones de donantes registrados. Pero necesitamos más, porque en ese grupo no hay nadie compatible conmigo.
That's the big dream, that we only stop when patients no longer need our help.
We simply cannot rest until every patient who needs one has a matching donor. During our program, we will honor local heroes who have gone above and beyond the call of duty. Our honorees and each one of you joining us here today are raising awareness and funding around DKMS's mission. And that mission is to delete blood cancer once and for all. To share more about DKMS, I would now like to introduce you to two members of our host committee and two people I proudly call dear friends of mine, Danielle and Chad Stevens.
Thanks, Ginger. Good morning, everybody. We just wanted to thank everyone for getting up this morning and logging on and joining us to support this tremendous cause.
We know that this event is different than what you've come to expect over the years, but blood cancer and blood disorders do not stop, and we must continue our fight to make sure that everyone that needs a transplant has a shot at that match.
DKMS is an organization that is obviously very near and dear to our hearts, and we just wanted to thank y'all for joining us for the 7th annual DKMS Awards Breakfast.
And today's event would not be possible without our fellow host committee members and the honorary chairs. We hope that today's program will also give you a glimpse into why DKMS is so important to all of us. To date, over 100,000 Texans have entered the bone marrow registry, with over 3,500 of those coming from drives held by DKMS in honor of Danielle and our good friend Bennett Williams. And Bennett's parents, Keith and Kiersa, are on the DKMS host committee with us. In all, 200 Texans have donated their bone marrow and life-saving transplants to patients in need all over the world.
So one reason DKMS is so important to us, I was diagnosed with MDS, which is a form of leukemia, pretty much out of the blue back in February of 2013. And luckily, good friends and family partnered up with DKMS and, as Chad mentioned, put together a really successful bone marrow drive. And we just have wanted to pay it forward ever since and help more people get in the registry to hopefully be matched with patients and save their lives.
And DKMS is so important to me because Danielle wouldn't be here without that life-saving donation. And too many people don't have that opportunity. And that is our mission, is to change that. By supporting this breakfast, you're helping to register more donors and save more lives. And we are so thankful from the bottom of our hearts. If you're not already in the registry, you can go to dkms.org and request a swab kit. It's a simple Q-tip swab on the inside of your cheek. Send it back and you'll be in the registry too. And it could be you that saves someone else's life.
Well, thank you again for being here. We've already raised a great deal of money, but we do have an additional goal of $10,000, which could put 225 more people in the registry. So if you want to grab your cell phone and text DKMS to 202-858-1233, we would really appreciate it. And that helps us fight blood cancer in this amazing community and around the world. And obviously this is a organization that means so much to us, so thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Thank you so much for being here today.
And back to you, sweet Ginger.
Thank you so much, Danielle and Chad. As they mentioned, our goal is to raise $10,000. $10,000. So if you're moved by the stories you hear today, please grab your phone and text DKMS to 202-858-1233. That's text DKMS to 202-858-1233. You can do it at any point to contribute to our fundraising goal. And just remember, a little goes a long way. Now, not only are we raising funds for DKMS this morning, but also we are celebrating a family of honorees who have truly gone above and beyond to help DKMS register more potential bone marrow donors. So now, to introduce our honorees, please welcome a very special guest.
Hi everyone, my name is Allie Reimold, and 4 years ago I donated peripheral blood stem cells to a man that I didn't know. About a year later, I received an email titled, "You Saved My Life," and I was first introduced to David Whitson and his family. David is a pilot and had always been in pretty good health. Living just a few hours from where I grew up, he and his wife, 2 sons, and sweet dog were living a healthy, happy, normal life. In fall 2016, David was diagnosed with AML leukemia, and life changed for the Whitsons. His wife, Jennifer, documented his journey with leukemia, and the people in his life rallied around him to create one of the biggest support systems I've ever seen. Later that same year, David received my donation, a day that he now celebrates as his new birthday. This donation saved his life, and since receiving it, I've seen firsthand how hard he has worked to ensure that other people diagnosed with leukemia can receive a donation too. David has committed so much of his life to helping others through donor registry drives and raising awareness. Last year, he was even able to travel to the event where I first learned about donating bone marrow or stem cells, and he was able to register 495 potential donors. David, I couldn't think of anyone more deserving of this Community Leader Award. Congratulations, and also happy early birthday.
I'm David Whitson. This is my wife, Jennifer, and we have 2 boys, Jake and Josh. They're 18 and 15. In 2006, September 2016, I was diagnosed with AML, acute myeloid leukemia. Right around my birthday, we were supposed to go out to eat with my mother-in-law, and I had a headache, and we ended up canceling my birthday dinner, and the headache didn't go away. And then the next day, I started running a fever, and then a couple days later, I had a lymph node swell up in my neck. So I went to several different doctors, and they all told me, you're gonna be okay, it's the flu, but I tested flu negative. And then I finally went back to this emergency room, not too far away from our house, and I told the doctor there, I was like, something's seriously wrong with me, and I need you to help me find out what's wrong. And he did a CT scan, and he came in and he said, all your lymph nodes in your body are glowing, and I think you have leukemia or lymphoma, and he was right. My first question to the doctor was, what do I need to do to beat this? That's what I wanted to know. And he said, well, we gotta check you in the hospital. But that was it. I didn't want to die. I wanted to fight it.
It was a big shock to us all, so he was immediately hospitalized and started chemotherapy, and thankfully was able to get into remission. And at the time, we didn't know what this process was going to entail, but they said he was going to need a bone marrow transplant if he wanted any, good chance of long-term survival. I met a lady who also had a transplant for AML, and she connected me with Amy at DKMS in Dallas. So I reached out to Amy, and she and her whole team have just been so wonderful. She was, there to give us any information or help us. And they really kind of just walked by our side throughout this whole journey. When we got the call that he had a match within the registry, it was just like an overwhelming sense of relief, because I thought, okay, now we can go to the next step.
It was really good to get the call that they had found a donor for us on the registry. It gave us some hope that you actually have a future, because before we just couldn't really plan. You couldn't plan anything when you go from you might die to the little bit of hope that, that some stranger, in my case, that was more of a match than my own brother, would take the time to donate their stem cells to give me a second chance at life. Was just really, really amazing. We got to meet my donor, Allie. She was a student at Purdue, and they do a charity event every year, and she signed up on the registry.
It was really special to get to meet her because we were able to say thank you in person for literally saving his life. I mean, she didn't know him at all. She didn't know, anything about him except that, he needed a bone marrow transplant to survive, and she stepped up and did that for us.
It was pretty neat. The first time I got to communicate with her was over email, and I'm typing her an email at the same time that we got an email from her. Literally at the computer, and the title of my email to her was, "You Saved My Life." And when I met her in person and gave her a big hug, that's what I whispered in her ear. Going through this process, even though it was really negative in the beginning, it really did bring us closer as a family. It brought us friends closer, and here I have the opportunity to be a better husband, better dad, better friend, better employee. I mean, just better everything. I mean, it is a new chance. Mm-hmm. So I think that's good. We've been married 25 years, which is pretty amazing. And Jennifer really showed me for better or for worse, sickness and health, she really showed everybody how much she cared about us as a family, and me included. One of the phrases I've used pretty much this whole process is that every day we have is a gift. Every day is a gift. And so I was fortunate enough to recover from this, and I felt like I had a responsibility to give back to others. So as a family, Jennifer and I and even my sons have volunteered many times with DKMS to do bone marrow drives for others that have been through the same circumstances that we've been through.
Being able to, even just sign up one person and think that might be the person that could help someone else in our situation has just been, something that's encouraging for us and exciting for us to be a part of. This award really represents everyone in our community that stepped in, including DKMS, just to get us to this point, and we're super excited just to be able to help out in the future and continue the mission of DKMS and just spreading awareness about joining the bone marrow registry and saving lives.
We don't want anybody not to ever find a donor.
Definitely.
What an amazing family, and what an emotional moment. Thank you so much to the Whitsons for sharing this journey with us. Ladies and gentlemen, if that does not move you, I don't know what will. Please consider making a gift now in light of what you just watched. And remember, every dollar counts. It is now my privilege to introduce a true hero, Alayna Thomas, who selflessly donated bone marrow to a pediatric blood cancer patient just 1 year ago. Alayna donated to a total stranger who needed her help, and she had no expectations of anything in return. Today, we are very excited to spotlight her story.
Hi, I'm Alayna, and I donated my bone marrow in October 2019. My freshman year of college, so September 2016, I was walking to a class and I had some extra time, and I saw a table that said you could save a life. I walked up and learned a little bit that I could be on the bone marrow donor registry. So right then I swabbed my cheek. I got a little card that said you are a registered donor, and I learned that it could take a very long time, if at all, that I would be a match for someone. And it was June 2019 that I was at work and I got an email that said, Alayna, you're a match. I read the email probably 3 times. I was smiling so wide, and I called my mom. She didn't answer, so I called her again. She thought it was an emergency, and she was like, what's going on? Are you okay? And I said, yeah, Mom, I'm a match. So for my donation itself, I went with my mom to a children's hospital and went and met with the doctor and the anesthesiologist and the nurses, and everyone was so sweet. I think it was really impactful and maybe made the experience better that I was walking into a hospital already healthy. So there was actually no nerves that anything was wrong. I was going in to do this great thing, and I was really excited. So I went home during quarantine to Wisconsin. My family lives there now. And I got an email when I was working. Again, I'm always working, and I got an email that said, would you like to start sending letters with your recipient? I said, yes, absolutely yes, I would love to. I had learned, or I knew going into it, that it was a pediatric case, so a girl with leukemia, and in one of the first letters I learned that she was in middle school, and that was really the start of us sharing a lot of things in common that we communicated over letters. The letter that I received back from my recipient starts, hi there, thank you so much for sending me the letter about your experience as my donor. I never really thought about what it would be like to be the donor, and only a really awesome, amazing person would do that like you. Your letter made me actually tear up a little, mostly because of how grateful I am that you basically saved my life. Even though I don't know you, I feel like we are connected. My most recent test came back completely clear, unlike last time, thanks to you. My mom told me to tell you some things I like to do in this letter, so here it goes. When I'm older, I'm going to be a vet at the zoo and have an acting job on the side. I also love to draw and decided to make a picture for you. I saw in your letter that you were saying the hospital atmosphere is a little nerve-wracking, and yes, it is, and that's why I'm so glad to be out forever. Anyway, I hope to hear back from you. I really can't say how grateful I am for someone who doesn't even know me to care about me so much. It's the best feeling. I hope you know how much of a difference you made in my life. It brought all of us to tears when I first read it. The only reason I'm not crying now is because I've read this letter at least 15 times, and it brings me joy every single time. We didn't know each other's names, so we came up with different names whenever we would write to each other. So this one I said, "Hey, sassy girl emoji," because that is how she signed her last letter. This was May of this year, 2020. When your letter showed up in my inbox, I jumped out of my chair and ran to the living room to share it with my parents. My mom cried because she was so overjoyed at your clear tests. Me too. We all loved learning about you. My mom even said, "This girl sounds pretty familiar," because I was a lot like you when I was 10 to 13. I'm also an all-A student and ambitious like you. We would be great friends, I'm sure. These letters have helped me realize how important it was that I made the decision that I did that day when I walked by that table and registered to be a bone marrow donor. It made any pain and discomfort that I felt in my lower back after my procedure so worth it. I would do it over and over again if I could, for the way that these letters have just brought hope and light into our families' lives, especially during such a time where we have been quarantined and not been able to connect with people. If I were to meet my recipient, I would first say, "You are brave," and then I would say that I am so grateful to be connected with you in this way, and that I hope we can continue to talk and be in each other's lives.
Thank you so much, Alayna, for sharing your story and for sharing those amazing letters with us. We hope you will be able to meet your recipient soon. If you would like to help DKMS register more donors just like Alayna, please take out your cell phone right now. Text DKMS to 202-858-1233. And now for a much lighter moment. We would like to thank our host committee members, Laura and Jim Forson, for donating a week-long stay at their amazing 4-bedroom beachfront villa in Santa Rosa Beach, Florida. How wonderful does that sound right now? That is our raffle prize for this year. You can still purchase your raffle tickets until midnight tonight. The prize package will also include round-trip flights for 2 and a gift card for a dinner out at the fabulous Great Southern Cafe, which is nearby. Again, how wonderful does a getaway sound right now? So go to dkmsbreakfast.org, dkmsbreakfast.org, and purchase your tickets for a chance to win this amazing getaway. I'd just like to say thank you again to all of you for joining us virtually this year as we honored some unbelievable people and we learned so much more about everything DKMS is doing to make more powerful moments happen like those you saw here today. I am your MC, Ginger Allen, and as I said from the start, a friend and neighbor to so many of you. It's been my complete honor to join you again, even if we had to do it virtually this year. I'm wishing you and yours a very happy holiday season. Have a great day.